I'll say two things. Number one, consistency is key. And number two, it doesn't matter who you know, it matters who knows you. Those are the two things that I really try to focus on more than anything. As uncomfortable as it can be sometimes to just jump on my phone when I'm in the car driving to a listing appointment or driving to a showing or driving to an inspection, I have to jump on. I have to do a video.
Welcome to the Jeff Sutherland Show. Let's grow today as we learn from decades of real estate and leadership experience.
We want you to know that when you log into this show, you're going to get authentic conversation. We're going to give it to you straight, and it's going to be real. Hello, everybody. My name's Jeff Sutherland, and I'm here with my co-host, Chase Waldron. It's good to be with you today, Chase.
Good to be with you, Jeff. Always a pleasure, man. Looking forward to catching up with our guests today, and we're going to have a lot of fun, man.
It is going to be so good. You know, it's so great to be living in the greatest country in the world, and we get to be in the greatest industry in the world, real estate. It's going to be awesome. Today we have two amazing people. I'm excited, because every week I try to put like the cream of the crop in front of everybody in our industry, whether they're in real estate or they're in another industry. I want to talk to great people. So today we have Angela Horga and her son, Stephen West, and they are both Centurion Award winners at their brokerage, Century 21. They operate out of the Northwest Valley of Phoenix, which is a little bit away from us. We're like almost like an hour away from them in the same, city of Phoenix. They're amazing people, and they both spread a lot of joy and knowledge to their clients and the people they serve, and they know their business. So it's good to have you here, guys. It's we're so happy you're here today, Angela and Stephen.
Having us.
Yes, thank you.
Awesome. And I understand you just got back from Europe, Stephen. So was that a good trip?
I did. It was an amazing trip. Yeah, first international trip for me, actually. So I had an absolutely amazing time. Some great memories that I'll never forget, for sure.
That's so awesome. Where'd you go?
We started in London and then worked our way to Manchester. And I had an arm wrestling match out there for that. But then my brother came out to support me for that first international match that I had. He lives in Dubai, and him and I have been talking about, and I'm sure that y'all can see it on the cameras now, but we have been talking for a couple of years about getting hair transplants done. And the ticket to Turkey from Manchester was like $120. So we flew across and we got it done, man. So we had an amazing time.
Oh my gosh, we have a lot to talk about today. Arm wrestling, hair transplants.
Yes.
Real estate.
That's so good. Well, how about we start with this? Tell us a little bit about your stories, guys. We want to hear about your stories. So go ahead. Angela, you want to start?
No. I can't. No, go ahead, Stephen. Go ahead.
Well, I'll start with this. I've been in real estate for a little over 7 years now. Before I got into real estate, I was running operations for auto glass companies. You all know those, kind of annoying guys at the car wash that are asking to fix your chip in your windshield or to replace your windshield, depending on the damage that you have. And Mom had been an appraiser for 10 years in the industry and then became a top 1% agent as well with Century 21. At one point in time, she looked at all of her kids and said, eventually I want to retire. When that happens, I want to create generational wealth within my family. So somebody has to go get their license. And me being the eldest of her 4 children, I said, I'll go do it. I liked my industry, but I wasn't in love with my industry because I really felt like it was about selling people, not so much helping people. So when I got my license in real estate, it was part-time the first couple of years. Really just following Mom and learning from her, all the knowledge that she taught me in a short amount of time. I couldn't imagine learning that from anyone else in such a short amount of time. So long story short, in 2019, they found a pineal mass in Mom's brain. And at the time, again, I was part-time with real estate. And I just felt like after losing my dad the year prior, there's no way that I'm ready to lose Mom. So it's time for me to just dig my heels into the ground and go forward and try to make her life as easy as possible. She's worked really, really hard to develop this business, and I wanted to make sure that it didn't go downhill while she was concentrating on her health. So at that point in time, I went full-time into real estate. We became 50-50 partners. I was really the workhorse that would concentrate on the showings, developing relationships with their clients, and try to allow her to take a step back, work on her transaction coordinating work, but really mostly about her health.
Yeah.
Now, luckily, and thank God, mom is fine, right? Every 6 months and now every year it gets checked. It's not growing. It's not cancer. It's nothing. So we were able to create a really great partnership amongst each other over the years to come, which, we kind of stay in each other's lanes and help each other grow to the best capability that we can as a partnership.
This podcast continues to just blow my mind. The stories that people have. Angela, I don't think you've ever told me that story. I didn't realize it to that extent. That must have been a crazy time in your life. And then Stephen came alongside of you. Wow. Tell me about that.
It's like commitment. It's like my family, and it's probably an answer I'm going to give you later on, immigrated from Greece. I have, the big fat Greek wedding is my family. And we had to help each other, as we immigrated here to this country. My parents taught us we have to help each other. And that's what we did. And that he showed up when I really needed him the most. So I still get emotional over it. So I apologize, but it's just been like a journey. I call it my journey.
What an awesome story, man. That's crazy to hear. And it's so awesome to hear a mother-son team out there killing it. That's great. Being on a mother-son team, what are some of the things that, I feel like you don't hear about that too often, right? Especially real estate industry. I haven't seen it before, so that's super cool. What are some of the things that you guys love about, being on a mother-son team? And is there anything that maybe you guys aren't a fan of being on a mother-son team?
For sure. We tend to stay in our own lanes because both of us are very extrovert people. We have no problem putting ourselves out there as much as possible. I do a lot of our social media production, which is great. Mom, customer acquisition, of course, being in the industry for over 20 years, just having her name on a piece of paper has helped our business tremendously. And again, knowing what my job entails and then her knowing what her job entails makes it really easy for us to work together collectively. In the beginning, maybe me as a young, growing man wanted to really take the reins on of the business, and a little bit of pushback was probably really good for me. It allowed me to grow at the pace that I needed to really understand the industry and become more strategic with the way that we develop our business. Let's see, things that we don't know. You know what? I'll tell you one thing. One thing that maybe I act like I like so much, but maybe not so much. Mom loves to parade me online. Right. Loves to make me look funny online. She wants to do all these videos all the time, whether it's me being tied up in a trunk with a real estate sign in front of me, acting like, I need help, or if it's me getting thrown into a pool with a full 3-piece suit on. Whatever it is, I do it because it's fun. It brings viewership, and it keeps the game a little light as well.
Yeah, that's true. I have to say, every time I watch your Facebook stuff, you're a light. I mean, you literally bring me up, and I just want to give you kudos for that. You guys are just both such a joy, and so tell us about your message that you're putting out to the world, Stephen. I love your messaging. I love your positivity. And I want you to talk about your arm wrestling career too, because I'm fascinated by that too.
Oh man, if I were to simplify my message, it would be the message that I try to follow every single day. I find myself getting in trouble when I try to lead often. And when I remember that it's better suited for me to be in a passenger seat and follow my Lord and Savior, the person that has made all of this happen, who gave me my parents, who gave me the guidance that I needed in this industry, that put me around amazing individuals like yourselves, on this podcast. I know that everything is going to work out if I just trust in my faith, so that's really, really, it makes it light. It makes it easy. It makes it genuine. I don't have to try so hard when I jump online because I know that he has my back always. When it comes to arm wrestling, I'll say commonality is really important in any industry, I think, right? And if there's 55, 60,000 agents in Arizona and Maricopa County alone, why are they using Jeff? Why are they using Chase? Why are they using the mother-son team, right? And it comes down to commonality for me, I think. I think that if you have something in common with someone, they tend to like you a little bit more, right? And they're not necessarily buying the house. Anyone can buy a house. They need to know who can help them buy that house and be a fiduciary for them and make sure that they're being guided down the right paths. And, being in arm wrestling has been a fantastic thing. My father and my uncle, they were really big in arm wrestling. After my dad passed away in 2018, my uncle found a tournament in 2019 up north at the Roadrunner, actually, and said, you need to do this in remembrance of your dad. And I said, okay, I'll do it. So I did it thinking nothing of it. I placed with both arms. And then over the next couple of years, I had circuits calling me saying, hey, come arm wrestle with us. And I thought to myself, I'm a realtor. I don't have time for arm wrestling, and it wasn't until July of 2022 that I finally showed up to a practice. And I got what we call stonewalled. I could not move the guy next to me. And it was the first time it ever happened. And I'm wondering, what am I doing wrong? And he tells me, you're doing everything wrong. So just like with real estate, when you're getting into a new business, you want to follow people that are doing it at the highest caliber possible, right? So the way that I try to listen to mom as much as possible in real estate, I went to my coach with arm wrestling and I said, I'm not the type to put my feet in the pool. I jump all the way in. Let's go. So over the last 2.5 years, I have developed into a professional arm wrestler as a hobby as well. But because I travel so often, I travel nationally. I just had my first international match as well in Manchester. That'll be on YouTube February 1st. It's coming out. It was a dark card. So super excited for that. But it's opened up not only so many doors, but also so many relationships have been built off of the platform of we have something in common. We both enjoy arm wrestling. Believe it or not, we just had a signing today for a gentleman that is in the arm wrestling community in Arizona, and he is closing on his first home with us. It's allowed us the opportunity to help so many people abroad.
Wow. Just do me a favor. Don't do those slapping sports. That's a bit crazy for me.
You never have to worry about me doing that stuff.
That's good. That's good. Just to follow up on everything you said, you're so convicted and you share your faith so openly. And I love that about you, Stephen. In fact, Chase and I were talking before this podcast about how, I think the good Lord wants us to live a life that's abundant and to be joyful. And I was in front of a bunch of agents yesterday and I said, listen, if you believe in a God, that there's a God in the universe, then you probably also believe there's a devil. And that means the devil is out to actually get us every day, and you can give him quarter, you can let him have a seat at your table, or you can say, no, you don't get a seat at my table. You might be allowed to prowl around like the devil does, but we're not going to let him sit at our table. And I don't think, knowing you, Stephen, I don't think you let him get even near you. I mean, you are all about joy. And I just want to say thank you for that. And you're a light. And so is your mother, Angela. So, man, that's cool. I appreciate your story so much.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was going to say, man, I really liked how you said, just finding that commonality, right? It's not just the fact of trying to help somebody, find a home, but those people, like you said, they want to work with somebody that they know, like, and trust, right? And finding somebody where, hey, you know what, you have similar interests. It's a good connection. It's easier to connect with people that way, and they want to do business with people that they connect with, man. So, I like that a lot. Thanks, Angela, I had a question for you. So, Jeff obviously speaks very highly of you. And so I was glad to be able to pop on here and meet you in person. But tell us a little bit about your upbringing and some of the values that you had growing up that kind of turned you into, who you are today and what you're kind of wanting to leave as a legacy to your son and other people that kind of come after you.
I think because I was raised in a big Greek family and we're very, very close. Everybody in my family is close. And my first language was Greek, so I'm not a great public speaker like this one here. So he has been such an asset to me because he's my voice. Because sometimes when I say things, I'm like, that should have came out of my mouth. But anyway, I think my parents taught us how to be helpful, compassionate, and loving. And no matter what, family is family. Like there's no one in my family that we don't speak to each other. We move past the little fights because life is too short, and I think just what I want to pass, my legacy that I want to pass, I'm very nurturing, even to my clients. So it's a good fit. Me and Stephen are a great fit, because when a client needs nurturing, here comes Mama Bear, But I think when I see a client walk through that door and say, hey, this is the house I want. And Jeff, you could relate. I'm a football fanatic, and that's like my touchdown in life, because it's like, oh, I just caught the ball and I just ran 90 yards to the touchdown. So it makes me happy, because it's just about prioritizing relationships over transactions. Yeah. And I would love if my children just like would always remember love, loyalty, and community, because service first is what we try to strive for in our business industry.
Isn't it great when you have multiple generations calling you in the same family?
Yes.
Yeah, that's such a blessing. So nurturing is one of your superpowers.
Assets.
What else do you bring, Angela? I know you bring a lot to the table. What else do you think would be one of your strengths? Maybe Steven can chime in too. I know he probably knows a lot of them too.
I think the knowledge of being an appraiser too. I mean, back in the day, I was an appraiser for about a decade, and a lot of people don't know that about me. When the market crashed, I delivered news that was very devastating to people. And believe me, it was very hard. I didn't like my job, because it was like seeing their faces and the hurt in their faces, like the devastation. I was ready to move on to something different, because I want to help everyone, So I became a realtor, and, it just was my niche in life, because I just, no matter what, even if someone's buying a $40,000 home back in the day, when I closed a $40,000 home, it was the best thing in this whole industry that I did, because I helped this couple that a $40,000 home was like $1 million home to them, and, that to me just resonated to me, just that helping people no matter what they want in life or what they need in life is important.
When I was running operations for auto glass companies, I had the saying, because it was really important that people understood how to create residual income at one facility. And it was, don't sell people, help people, right? And Mom translates that so well every single day that we're in business together. It truly is about helping your clients and not selling your clients. It makes it really easy for us to do our job that way. What I will say when it comes to a superpower that maybe Mom has is her experience in the game. When we take our real estate exam, regardless of how long ago it was, and then we do our CE classes every 2 years, we notice afterwards, after we get the green light and say, okay, you passed, or okay, you got your CE classes done. Thank you so much. 90% of that stuff we probably don't use on a daily basis, and it really is the few and far between instances that set you apart from everyone else when you run into a situation that you're not so comfortable with. And for me to be able to have that lifeline, to be able to just dial 480-695-9128 and say, hey, Mom, I'm in this situation right now. What do I do? Hearing it from the expert's mouth right off the gate, I couldn't be any luckier.
Yeah, you can't discount experience. You really can't. I remember in 2009, I started with a partner, a company in Chandler, grew that company to 250 agents. That was in 2009. And honestly, out of like all of the listings, all the transactions we had in our office the first year, 90% of them were short sales or REOs.
Wow.
And do you remember that time, Angela? It was brutal. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I sat down with sellers and they were in tears at the closing table. Mm-hmm. So I hear agents now, they're like, oh, it's so difficult. It's so hard. Well, you know what? It is a little difficult because affordability is high. But let me tell you, it's nothing compared to years I've seen. So there's people buying and selling real estate to this day in Phoenix, and there's a lot of opportunity. I think the market is always in between your ears. It's how you perceive it and how you approach it. Would you guys agree?
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. Now, so Steven, besides your just vibrant positivity, what else? What else do you bring to the table, like when you work with clients?
Man, my number one thing in life is developing relationships, with everything. I don't care if it's real estate, if it's arm wrestling, it could be anything that I enjoy doing. I care more about the camaraderie than anything else. honestly, my favorite part about a transaction is probably 6 to 8 weeks after they've moved into their property and they call us up and say, hey, we're having a family barbecue. We would love for you to come over and meet our family. We want to introduce them to the people that helped us out. That is the most, it really is the most rewarding thing. Same thing with arm wrestling. That community in general, they really truly care about each other. And I just care about people, so it makes this what we want to call a job so simple, because you really are helping people invest in themselves through home ownership. Having assets in this life, it's super important. And the more that you can educate people and you can help them financially, invest in themselves, it's super rewarding.
Yeah, just to say something on that, the biggest compliment you can have is having a friendship with your client afterwards.
Yeah.
Right. You guys have a relational business. We have relational businesses because we care about the after, right? I want to be able to look somebody in the eye, for years and years afterwards and feel good that, we did it right, and I think you have those agents and you have transactional agents, which are completely different. We're done with the deal. Go to the next one. That's not the way you're going to build a foundational business, right? And what happens, by the way, when you do have a transactional business, and all of a sudden that lead source stops. Maybe you're trying to do internet leads, and all of a sudden that spigot shuts off. Right. Well, you become dependent on that lead source. Now, what are you going to do? You're building something that's going to last. For Angela and for Steven.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think that kind of leads right into, because we like to ask people who are out there killing the game, right? Like, here we are coming up at the end of January of 2025 for the people that maybe have struggled last year, or they're trying to figure out, how am I going to get my business booming this year? We talked a lot about obviously building relationships, but do you guys have any sort of advice to give those agents on what they should be focusing on this year to really, up their business this year?
Yeah. I'll say two things. Number one, consistency is key. And number two, it doesn't matter who you know, it matters who knows you. Mm-hmm. Those are the two things that I really try to focus on more than anything. As uncomfortable as it can be sometimes to just jump on my phone when I'm in the car, driving to a listing appointment or driving to a showing or driving to an inspection, I have to jump on. I have to do a video. I have to do some type of social media account, throw it on my Instagram, my Facebook, our website, mention our website constantly. Why do you think they mention phone numbers 5, 6, 7 times at the end of a commercial? And you're thinking to yourself while you're listening to it, why are they mentioning it? Oh, because I remember it now, right? Exactly. So same reason why I have to jump on social media. I have to do something. I just have to let people live vicariously through my life, as much as possible. Let them know what I'm doing. I literally have already been working on a video for today, and this podcast will be part of it. You guys will see it on social media later on. So yeah, looking forward to posting it on there and staying consistent with that, because if you think about your social media aspect as like an auditorium, how many opportunities do we have to stand in front of 2, 3, 5, 10,000 people at a time and just give them the new headline? Let them know an up-to-date source on what's happening in the real estate market here locally in Arizona. What interest rates are looking like? How much inventory is on the market? Just giving those certain bits of information. I can't tell you how many times I haven't spoken to someone in maybe 15, 20 years from high school, but because of Facebook or Instagram, it's kept us connected. And all of a sudden I'm getting a message from them saying, hey, I saw your last video. I was wondering, my wife and I are thinking about purchasing. What do you think? How about this? Let's go ahead and set up a meeting. Let's get together. I'd love to hear about how the last 18 years of your life have gone, friend.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And I'm glad that you said that, because I feel like a lot of people, I'm like this, man. It's uncomfortable getting in front of that camera, especially as often as you're doing it, I'm sure. So it's good to hear you say that, because your Instagram looks good, man. And even hearing from you that, hey, it's not always convenient or comfortable. So it's you just gotta buckle down and get it done, man.
Yeah, man.
So for those agents that are afraid, do you have any suggestions, Steven, on how they can, turn the corner and get more visible online?
Yeah, I think it's important not to step too far out of your lane, because then maybe it comes off as disingenuine. Me personally, I'm comfortable enough jumping on a camera and putting it out there and looking uncomfortable and maybe messing up on my words here and there, knowing that we're all human and everyone's going to accept it. I would just say, again, going back to commonality, if maybe social media is not your thing, if there is something that you value in life, find other people that value the same exact thing and make those connections, create those relationships, build on those relationships. And that in itself is going to continue to build your sphere.
Yeah, I love it. You guys complement each other so well. Angela, we've had some world-class ladies on this show. You're no different. When you think about your career, tell me some things that you might be really proud of. And is there anything you do different when you look back?
No, I wouldn't do anything different because everything taught me, everything I know today, has kind of shaped me into the person I am today. It was hard because I moved here from Jersey in 1996 and I felt so awkward and I didn't feel like I fit in really. So when I got into real estate, I decided I was going to change my hair, be more reserved, and, not, I wasn't going to play the Jersey role. I was just going to be a chameleon and be an Arizona girl. It didn't work. And the best seminar I could tell you, when I first started in this industry, Jerry Colangelo spoke.
Yeah.
And you know what he said to me, and it resonated within me. He said, the best thing for success is to stand apart from everyone else. Be your unique self. And he said that directly to me as I was getting his autograph. And I said, okay, I'm going to wear my Jersey heels. I'm going to go to the closing table with my Jersey hair. I'm going to wear my Jersey shoes. And that's what I've been doing. And you know what? Ever since I started being myself, I feel like I'm in my own skin and I don't feel different anymore. And if I do, I feel like that's a compliment because I'm unique and it's okay to be different,
And you're comfortable with it, right?
And
it's who you are. I don't know what it is about you Jersey women. I'm married to a Jersey wife too. And she's from Morristown area.
Oh yeah.
And she loves to wear her nice shoes, the real tall heels and such.
46-inch heels.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's something about you Jersey women. You got a fire in your belly. I'll tell you that much.
I know the earrings, the lashes, and I get looks and stuff, but I'm like, it's okay. I'm not going to take it as personally now because I'm too old and I don't really care.
I know it's hard to believe, Jeff. I know it's hard to believe, but her hair used to be more volumized than mine.
Yeah. I still have lots of hair.
Oh my gosh, that is a great thing. You're a beautiful lady, Angela. I'm sure you get looks and people think, wow. Because it's funny. I've noticed over the years, it's I think the way you dress matters, right? Like when Chase goes to an open house, he looks good. It's like I really believe that those old conservative things about dressing nice are a good thing, right? I mean,
right.
Even when I go to the closing table with my clients, it's like to me it's a big deal, right? I want to honor them, and I'm not one to not to say it's bad, but I'm not going to show up in a torn T-shirt and torn jeans. This is an important event, not to put anybody down that does, but I think dressing nicely is important.
Right.
I agree.
Yeah.
And you feel good.
It does. Makes you feel good. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
All right. Well, as we're kind of coming out to the home stretch, Angela, Stephen, any last words, anything we didn't cover that we want to touch on? Any new projects going on this year that you want to share with us?
Oh, let's see. I mean, just staying on the grind, obviously, not stopping. Residential real estate is going to continue going. It's going to continue to grow, obviously, with more people moving out here to Arizona. Our inventory being a little higher right now, I assume that we're going to have a good 2025. We did actually just start our commercial endeavor as well. So obviously, if anyone's looking to buy, sell, invest, whether it be residential or commercial, we're happy to have conversations and help. But furthermore, Jeff and Chase, I just honestly wanted to say thank you both for the opportunity to be on here with you guys. We value everything that you guys are about, your opinions, your everything. I mean, you've heard 10% of the agents make 90% of the money. There's a reason for that. You guys really stand out. You are absolute amazing individuals in the sphere of real estate, and we appreciate you very much.
Oh,
absolutely.
Thank you, guys. Tell us a little bit more.
That's why I have him, because he's my voice. He said everything I want to say to you guys. Give you big hugs too.
Yeah, he's very well spoken. A lot of respect to both you guys. How does a consumer find you? Give us some areas where they can see a little bit more about you guys. Tell us how to get a hold of you.
Yeah, they can obviously look us up at our website, themothersunteam.com. They can reach out to us via phone number 602-695-0459 or mom at 480-695-9128. And then my handle on Instagram is Steve West Estates, as well as Steve West on Facebook. So please look out for me. If anything, I'll be entertaining.
Hey, that's the main thing, man. You're standing out, right? That's the main thing.
That's right. That's right. Cheers.
Right. What a joy to have you guys here today. You know, I believe that it's good to have everybody from every company here. That's great, because there's plenty of business to go around for everybody. And so we're just very appreciative of your time. And for those of you that don't know us, Chase and I work together. I've been in the business 24 years. It's gone quickly, but I still got a lot in the tank. In fact, I've been excited this year. I'm very busy. Chase and I are very busy. I'm sure you guys are busy. I just took a $2.6 million listing, and I took another
I heard about that.
Yeah, I've got two sub $3 million listings that we're going to be selling here in the next month or so. One of them is absolutely gorgeous, backing up to the Superstition Mountains, literally right up against it.
Oh, wow. That's wonderful. You'll see me hiking.
Yeah. So I'll be inviting you guys to those broker opens. I hope you can join us.
Awesome. We'll definitely make it a point.
Yeah. Chase is an animal. He does open houses every single weekend.
That's great. Right now, they're out there. That's where the buyers are.
Yeah. I think Chase and Steven remind me so much of each other. They have such a presence, and Chase is on social media every weekend showing his latest open houses, and he's getting like 500 to 1,000 views every single time.
Love it, dude.
I'm still working on it, man. I gotta get on your level, man.
That's the way.
We're growing.
Keep it going, man. You're killing it.
Well, good. It's been a joy to have you guys here. If you want to get a hold of Angela and Steven, he just explained that. If you want to get a hold of us, jeffsutherland.com. We'd love to help you. And we're just thankful for Angela and Steven. You guys are a light to the world. Keep being that way. We love you guys. And,
thank you. Love you
thank
too.
you so much.
Yeah. Have an awesome day, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Take care.